Good morning or good afternoon, Your Excellencies. I'm very pleased to be invited to address you. My name is Richard Rieser. I'm the General Secretary of the Commonwealth Disabled People's Forum. We represent more than 100 disabled-led organisations across the Commonwealth, including 49 who are the umbrella organisations, who are the representative organisations you need to be talking to in your countries, and I hope you are. We are most concerned as the Commonwealth Disabled People's Forum that disability hasn't featured very strongly at previous CHOGMs, ministerial meetings and other events that the Commonwealth do, and indeed that progress towards implementation of the UNCRPD, which 55 of 56 of you have ratified, is not taking place as it should. Our members around the Commonwealth report to us, and there are more than 430 million disabled people in the Commonwealth, that they are not getting their rights in the main, that they do not have the dignity that we would expect, and they are mainly subject to discrimination in all walks of life, whether it be education, employment, health, family, leisure, politics. They receive discrimination. Now, that shouldn't be happening once you've signed and ratified the convention. So we have put forward a disability inclusion action plan to try and suggest ways that we can collaborate to change things by using our joint knowledge and combining resources. We think we might have to set up funding for this separately, and we're happy to do that with all of you. But we also think it's most important that it gets passed. There are some problems with paragraph 6 of the communique, and I'll suggest some amendments to that in a minute. However, the first thing I want to say is I think the main reason that things are not moving forward is that people generally don't understand the paradigm shift, the shift in thinking that is necessary in order for disability rights to be implemented. We all of us disabled people or persons with disabilities have impairments. That is why we are disabled. We have long-term impairments, physical, sensory, mental, neurodiverse, learning difficulty, and so on. People have always had impairments since human beings began. It's part of the human condition due to accidents, war, famine, disease, and in our genes. Now, for the main, and in some places it can be alleviated, but in the main, we are disabled because medical science doesn't have an answer. Two things have happened to us, and the UN identified the traditional view, which sees us as other, outsiders, and is generally negative, leads to stereotypes and stigma, and that's still widespread. Then, by looking at us through the medical lens, we're only seen because of what we can't do rather than what we can do. And we reject that, although we, of course, accept the medical support that keeps us alive and keeps us functioning. But we don't want to be seen like that. We want to be seen as active human beings with rights and our own identity and not being discriminated against. Now, in order for this to change, we have put forward 4 changes to paragraph 6. First of all, that the disability high-level advisory group on disability needs to include the persons with disabilities representatives, and there need to be a majority of that committee. Secondly, that we need a full disability inclusion plan because some people aren't happy for it in 2024, so we'll go for 2026. But in the meantime, because so much work and many state parties have agreed it, the disability inclusion action points can act as an interim guide until that point. And we also suggest that we should hold the first ever Commonwealth Ministers with Responsibility for Disability meeting prior to CHOGM in 2026. And that would give us an amendment that read as follows, that in line 7, you would delete together with and instead insert, including a majority of. Then you would delete the last sentence and instead add these 3. Heads welcome the work on Disability Inclusion Action Plan and adopt its action points as an interim guide for progress in this important area. The high-level group, in conjunction with Commonwealth states and input from a first meeting of Commonwealth ministers responsible for disability, will bring forward an agreed disability inclusion action plan to CHOGM 2026, and heads further commend the important role of national human rights organisations in monitoring CRPD implementation, as it was. So those are the amendments we'd like you to consider. We think, as I said, that this will require some extra funding, so we are suggesting that an independent fund be set up, Commonwealth Disability Rights Fund be set up to fund both the Commonwealth Secretariat and government. We also think that we have within the Commonwealth the potential to resolve all of the problems that we have by collaboration and sorting things out, particularly with training and auditing to identify the barriers and come up with the solutions. I thank you.